So in this video I'm going to design my website layout for Niche Finder Tips, and what I want to do, I want my top menu to be my fixed pages. So I'll have menu items going across here that will each have pages under, and those will be fixed. And I want a sidebar on the right hand side for banners, advertising banners. So because my site's going to be all about the content, but I still want some banners, but I want my good content on the left hand side. So I'll start there. So I'm going to choose my layout first. So under page layout, I do want a header and a menu, so that's fine. Under columns, I just want 2 columns and I want a mid-sized column on the right hand side. My header I want to be a lot smaller because I'm only going to put a title on it. So I'm going to start with color themes, and I want a white sheet. Okay, so everything's white, which is going to help make my content stand out. And if you just sort of scroll over this, it'll show you what your choices are without having to actually choose them, and then if you click on it, it means you've chosen it. I'm going to go for this for the moment, but I'm then going to change it and make it so the green doesn't stand out as much. So I'm going to have my header white. And I don't want this gradient. Okay, so now I have a pure white header. My headline will be, okay, so that's very, very small, and size much bigger. Now you see these sub-items, these will drop down, but because a lot of my title headings are going to be quite long, I need to make them longer. So I go to sub-item, size, and I'm going to go for the maximum. Okay, so I don't want a vertical menu. Vertical menu. No block, which means I don't give it a block with a bar. Without style. So now it's not separated from the rest of the sheet. Once I've got this set up, I can actually change this in WordPress and in the widgets menu. Next thing is for these articles, I don't want all this, so I go to articles, and under header I can choose my header layout. So I want is no block, and I don't want this either. I go date, don't show date, don't show edit. And down here I can also choose, so I don't want any of this. There we go, that's nice and simple. Now I'm not particularly liking that green, what I want is a much brighter green, so I'm going to go to colors and fonts, and here I can choose the type of green I want, so I can go more colors. And I think I want something really bright. So you can see at the moment this is coming in my headings and the border and so on. Let's just go with that. And now, now I want to change this main menu bar to reflect that change. So go back to the menu bar. As you can see, I hadn't got this all planned in advance. I'm just playing as I go. So once you've got a certain style that you like, you can then easily go back to it and just make changes. So now we're going to say my active one. So now everything's back to this bright green. And I think that green is too much, so I'm actually going to make it green and grey. So I've got green going through to grey. And I don't like this font being that green either, so let's have a look at this. Articles. And then I can choose each heading what I want it to be. Heading 1 I want to be black. Heading 2 I want to be dark grey, and you can see all these here as you go down. And heading 3, well, I'll leave that as bright green, and I've never gone beyond the heading 4 or 5, so don't worry about those. Picture, I don't want the border colour being green, because for black. Bullets, it's fine. I think bullets are generally better, just a slightly lighter colour than your main font. But again, totally up to you. And I'll go for square bullets. So let's have a look at fonts in general. You can choose font sets. I quite like Comic Sans and Tahoma as a combination, which now has put automatically all my headings into Comic Sans. But the main text, so it's easy to read, is in Tahoma. And I'm just going up to 110. Just slightly bigger, but I want people to be able to read easily. And I'm not going to worry, I don't think I'm going to be using tables. I might use a quote though, so let's just go and check on that. I think I just want to fill as a light grey. That's better. The font's slightly bigger. Yeah, I'm just going up to a 13. Now the other thing is, at the moment my borders are bright green and the background's just white. I'm going to experiment with a background that gives a bit of colour. I want a very pale grey. No, I don't want trees. The reason that's done that is because I've got transparency on, so I'll have to go back to sheet. So I wanted a white sheet, but in sheet, I think, there we go, no transparency. Well, that's still grey, fill, white. Yeah. And I don't want this bright green border, so sheet, border. Actually, I'm going to make the colour lighter, but make it kind of with a shadow. And I can choose that. So you'll see there's slightly less one side and more the other. Okay, and then the final thing I want to change is if I do have any text down here, if it's not all just banners or advertising, whatever, I just don't like this font color. So I'm going to go back into my sidebar. That one's good. The link color, I think I want the link to be, yeah, just black. That's fine. The visited link will make, yeah, that's quite clear. It's nice and light. So the main links are black, visited grey, and hovered is green. The nice thing is about owning Artisteer is I can just put my site in, make any changes I want, and then come back to it. So over time I do find that I come back and play around with my layouts a bit without changing it completely. In fact, I don't want this tagline. I'm going to get rid of that. So header. So I'll just show you what my existing site looks like because I used a template and the template didn't work for me. So 1 second. So this is the template I used before, where I've actually got some menus going below this. I've written lots of articles and they can't even show because all I've got is a category menu and this menu up top, which doesn't have any secondary menus. So this is kind of where I started from, which was fine when I was just adding blog posts. But what I want to do now is make it a bit more of a structured site. So it's going to change from this to this. I think I need to make the header smaller. Alright, that's the start. So now I'm going to go export and we need to check the options. So what I want is the horizontal menu source to be my pages. This is right. And I want the vertical menu source to be categories, but I'm not even using a vertical menu, so that doesn't matter. Okay. So you also need to make sure in the footnote, if you don't want any links going out, because I paid for Artisteer, there's no reason to give them links away from my site. So that's good. So click OK and export. So now in my blog site I can upload the new template and also remember to save it in Artisteer. So that shows you how easy it is to design your own layout.